them have said you're being funded by William Ruto. You know, are these just accusations? How do you take them? And what do you have to say about it?
Not that I'm dying to meet the president for what? You can't cook ugali for me. I have plenty of ugali in my house. And I owe nobody an apology as to who I see, either in my capacity as President of the Law Society of Kenya, or in my own individual capacity as Nelson Havi, or even further in my capacity as a prospective and aspiring candidate for Westlands constituency.
Is it true that you actually charge a fee of 2 million for anyone who you represent?
Where did you get this?
I have done a lot of research about you. Actually, you know what? I'd like to be the representative of the content creators in Kenya. Guys, do you agree? Drop a comment and let me know. What for Trudy? So now, we have issues.
I'm an advocate. I'm currently the president of the Law Society of Kenya. 44 years of age. I've done a substantial amount of work insofar as public interest litigation is concerned, defending the rights of the people, speaking for the people, taking action in various fields, in court, in parliament, and outside there. In a nutshell, that's who I am. My mother may have wanted me to be a doctor because of our discussions. I ended up making my mind to study law when I was transiting from Form 2 to Form 3. That's when you make career choices. At that point in time, I had to elect which between commerce and art and design I will take.
Okay, so you are the chairperson or the president of LSK.
Yes, sir.
Why did you make the decision to run for the seat?
I decided to run for LSK for various reasons, 3 of which could be fundamental. As a legal practitioner, the comfort is in making money and empowering yourself. But many people fail to realize you isolate yourself more if you are affluent in a setting that is populated by many people who are needy. And to that extent, I needed to see to it that what I'm able to do as an individual is done through an organization that has more validation than an individual.
So there were many other qualified and prominent people who ran for the post, but you got it. What do you think made you stand out?
I think I'm a product of a mistake in time. In this sense, the environment prevailing then demanded that there be change. And I believe lawyers will have elected anybody else but for those who had been part of the leadership structure of the Law Society. For instance, you are aware amongst the candidates was a former council member of the Law Society, Charles Kangoma, my very good friend and classmate, my sister and very good friend, Havi, who was vice president, and council member, my good friend, Maria Benica. There were manifestations of the system then.
You've mentioned the BBI. I want us to touch on that, but before we do, in case you don't know what LSK is and you're watching, LSK means the Law Society of Kenya. So before we go to the BBI, I'd like to ask you, what are some of the things you can say that you're proud of doing as the chairperson of the Law Society of Kenya? And how has it been? Because citizens of Kenya term you as a free mind, you're not intimidated. Is it easy? Are you scared for yourself? What keeps you going?
Well, I believe I have put the Law Society in a position where its mark will remain indelible. Today, when we say Law Society has taken this position, we're taken seriously. Many people will not know this, but the moment we take a position as the Law Society, we embark on an issue, those in the Ministry of Interior will hold a meeting to discuss and plan how to countermand what we're doing. We are impactful. I believe as the Law Society, under my leadership, we have served people of all cadre. What we've done percolates and benefits everybody, doctors, journalists, students, Amamboka, everybody. Do I fear? Of course. Every human being must fear. If you didn't fear, then you will not be a human being. The question is, how do you deal with your fear? Whenever I become wary of what I do, I always remind myself that what I'm doing is right.
Okay, so now let's talk about the BBI. The BBI issue was so heated, and you're one of the people who, were very against it. Why were you so against the BBI?
Actually, I was not against the BBI. I happen to have been the captain of the people who were against the BBI, a majority of Kenyans. Because ask yourself, what do I as Nelson have benefit or lose from BBI? Nothing whatsoever. What do we as the people of Kenya lose through BBI? BBI was an initiative to amend the constitution in a manner that the court has now indicated was not just an amendment, but a destruction, a complete replacement of a total of 74 articles of the constitution, a complete restructure of the system of government to create a prime minister, two deputy prime ministers, to have ministers appointed from parliament, to have a prefect appointed by the president and sit in the Judicial Service Commission and pry upon the activities of judges. If there has been a point in time in the history of Kenya where an intention has been manifested to return us to a draconian period of dictatorship, then the BBI bill was the pinnacle of such an enterprise. Maybe by the time I turned 74 or 80, and my grandchildren ask me, so what did you do when you were young? I'll tell them it was during my time that we stopped a process to obliterate the constitution.
Okay, so do you think that if it wasn't the brainchild of Mr. Raila Odinga and President Kenyatta, if someone else brought it up, do you think it would have gone through? Because it is argued that it is unconstitutional for the president to have come up with such an idea, but do you think if an ordinary citizen came up with that it would have gone through?
BBI has to be called out for the fraud that it is. It was not an initiative to amend the constitution. It is a power sharing agreement. And we've had these power sharing agreements amongst the political class for a long period right now.
It is actually said that the Constitution of Kenya is one of the most democratic constitutions. However, when I look at you and I hear what you're saying, you have a point. And then again, when you listen to President Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm trying to speak for the youth like me,
yes.
And they're trying to, urge the youth and the citizens to, vote for the BBI. And like Mr. Raila would say that, they formed a team and they sent people to different corners of Kenya and they came up with proposals, and they actually just want to better the lives of Kenyans. They said clearly that they were not looking out for their own interests. Or they were looking at how the common mwananchi will be able to get resources. So are we being deceived?
I think this point is very important for the youth of Kenya, because the youth constitute the biggest voter bracket in this country. Yet the youth are the most marginalized when it comes to resource allocation. Who cries about unemployment? Who cries about rent? It's not the 50-year-old. It's not the business executive. It's not the middle class. It's the youth. Individuals who are either in university, colleges, or who are doing jobs to enable them to make their ends meet. You will hear of these things, 𝙁𝙤𝙬𝙗. It will sadden you to notice that the people who are doing 𝙁𝙤𝙬𝙗, slashing grass and cleaning roads, are individuals who are trained in skills which are available for employment in the mainstream government labor market. Yet you'll find that there is no provision for them. The late Ronald Reagan once said, "Be afraid when somebody comes to you and says, 'I'm the government and I'm here to help you.' Be afraid and be very afraid." So that, and this I speak to the youth, it is your time. The decisions you make right now will last with us for a long period of time. These fellows have come and they are here to tell you that we are the government and we are here to offer the solution. Not that government is bad. Government is the organized system through which human affairs are done in an orderly way. But the individuals who constitute government are a product of our choices. And when we make bad choices, we end up with bad governance. You understand? And they will always come and tell you this and this. And I believe from the interactions we've had insofar as BBI is concerned, an informed Kenyan is able to make up his mind as to who between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga on one hand and Nelson Havi and the many other transformative, well-meaning Kenyans was right on the BBI.
After the ruling about the BBI, President Uhuru Kenyatta said that those who are opposed to the BBI did so for immediate political gain instead of putting the interests of Kenyans first. And you also have some of the opposition, people who are opposing you. Some of them have accused you of being funded. Some of them have said you're being funded by William Ruto. You know, are these just accusations? How do you take them? And what do you have to say about it?
Let's start from the beginning. That those who oppose BBI are doing so for short-term gains. I think the converse is true. Those who proposed BBI are doing so for short-term gains. Let's be realistic. How old is Raila Odinga? He's 75. I mean, barring all eventualities, he will not be here in 10 or 15 years. It's as simple as that. It's the reality of nature. You will be here, perhaps for another 60 years. I'll be here, perhaps for another 40 years. Understand? What is this that they are pushing? You know, there is an adage that he who digs a foundation stone in his old age is creating a tomb. Do not join them in their tomb. You get it? Now, look at it from my perspective. What is the short-term gain for me and those many other advocates who stood for the rule of law to challenge BBI? Nothing whatsoever. No monetary remuneration, understand? But there is gratification. Gratification in this sense. History will document us as having played a pivotal role in preventing the Constitution from destruction. And for this, I have no apologies. Let's address the last aspect of your question. I think for those who know me pretty well in the legal profession, they will tell you I've been here for quite a considerable period of time. Many do not understand that often the cases that are publicized are the least insofar as income generation is concerned. Because you'll go to the village, they will tell you, no. Where lawyers make money, you'll never hear of it on the newspaper or on TV.
Really?
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there are many other matters where I've made a lot of money. You've never heard of them. Yeah. I mean, for instance, if I was to ask you, where did I make the money to build my house in Camp David in Seoul? Where did I make the money to buy my house in Lavington? Which case was I handling then? You don't know. Where did I make the money to buy my office here? Which case was I handling? But you see, these cases of public interest nature are publicized. And the default in the Kenyan mind is that you do this because of money. We don't do this because of money. It is the sacrifice we make towards ensuring that we have a good country. Yes, I've met William Ruto many times, some of which have not been publicized. It is only the last incidents that we publicized. And I've known Ruto for also a long period of time. I think from 2009, if my memory serves me right. And it's become fashionable to castigate anybody who is associated with William Ruto. I don't know why. A question that we must ask ourselves is, who is William Ruto? Is he not the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya?
He is.
Yes. He's the second in command in this country. Have I asked to meet President Uhuru Kenyatta? Yes. Through his keepers. I don't know whether they have passed the message. So if I call William Ruto and come and meet him on this day of Katiba Day and tell him this is what we did as lawyers towards ensuring that you in office are contained in your exercise of powers, why should I be accused of having seen him? If President Uhuru Kenyatta was accessible, I would have gone to him and given him the same. I have many of here. I have many of the memorandum. There is one for Uhuru Kenyatta. There is one for Mudavadi. There is one for Kalonzo Musyoka. Is there any other significant presidential election candidate that are omitted?
Raila.
Yes, for Raila. Yeah, I'll take them. I'll take it to them.
So the thing is, Mr. Ruto is more accessible, and that's why they have seen you with him. You just haven't had opportunity to meet the president.
Not that I'm dying to meet the president. For what? You can't cook ugali for me. I have plenty of ugali in my house. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I've met the president time without number before he became president. I'm the only lawyer in this country who has cross-examined Uhuru Kenyatta for 2 hours.
Oh.
And I owe nobody an apology as to who I see, either in my capacity as President of the Law Society of Kenya, or in my own individual capacity as Nelson Havi, or even further in my capacity as a prospective and aspiring candidate for Westlands constituency.
Guys, what do you think of that? Drop a comment, let's have a conversation. You have mentioned Westlands.
Yes.
So you tweeted that you want to vie for a seat next year, next elections. What made you decide to do that?
It's not that I've just tweeted. The people of Westlands, a representative portion, came to my office, and they came in through the aegis of the ANC party and said, now that your term at the Law Society of Kenya is coming to an end.
Oh, that came so fast.
Pardon?
Your term, it's gone so fast.
Yeah, sweet things tend to suffer quick diminishing utility.
Yeah.
Actually, it never crossed my mind.
Really?
I'd always had political ambitions, but I thought maybe I'll run for member of National Assembly for Likuyani, my constituency. But these people came to me, and I looked at them and said, why do you want me to run for Westlands? And the idea was, Westlands is representative of Kenya. It is, so to speak, the creme de la creme of the constituencies in Nairobi. It is cosmopolitan in many aspects on account of ethnicity, race, and classes, because it transcends all classes of individuals.
Okay, so when you tweeted about that, I went through the comments and we had some Kenyans who are concerned. They said, oh, we always have good people, he's such a free mind, and they're scared that when you now join politics, you're going to be corrupted because you'll probably be under a certain political party, and now your thinking will be influenced. For those Kenyans who are concerned about you being a free mind and that now when you join politics, it might change, what do you have to tell them? No.
Kenya's political environment is replete with demagogues, individuals who do not have a stand. I believe I'm one person who cannot be domesticated so far as my values and ideals are concerned. and I will maintain these values and ideals in whatever environment I am. And we see most of these elected leaders thinking like cuckoo. They're always with us on Twitter, voting against something. They're always with us on Facebook, complaining. But when the issue comes to Parliament, I vote yes. I vote yes.
Are you from Westlands? What do you think about what he is saying? I hope you're voting next year. Let me know. Are you going to vote for him? Drop a comment. Let's have a conversation. So I'm finishing up. I have 3 more questions for you. So, is it true that you actually charge a fee of 2 million for anyone who you represent?
Where did you get this?
I have done a lot of research about you.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I came across.
I remember reading this propaganda in Tuko.
Tuko.
Yeah, I read this propaganda in Tuko. The fee we charge is always dependent upon the magnitude of the case. It will surprise you how many cases we do for free in what we call pro bono. So it's not that my door is locked to those who cannot afford a fee. But truth be told, if a matter is of a commercial nature, I've made up my mind not to take briefs that do not add value. Commercial matters, because there are many other advocates who we need to allow to grow. If an advocate was admitted last year or 2 years ago, we need to give them briefs for them to grow. And for them, a fee of 200, 300 will go a long way in sustaining him. A fee of 200, 300. You saw the printers on your way. The cartridge for the printers, 150. You get the point. So as you grow in your career as an advocate, it's wise to make decisions. Yeah, well, of course, the people even want to charge as high as 10 million, depending on their brief.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you as I finish up. I am a content creator, and content creation is taking over traditional TV. You find that many youth now, are doing their own thing in content creation, and they are also creating employment for other people. And as a content creator, I wonder, are we represented? Are we anywhere in the Constitution? I feel like we are playing a big role in the society to educate and entertain. But then sometimes we are concerned. Actually, you know what? I'd like to be the representative of the content creators in Kenya. Guys, do you agree? Drop a comment and let me know. Vote for Trudy. So now we have issues. Like, you find that content creators have a problem filming, and you find that we're actually promoting our country. You see people say, oh, we came to Kenya because we watched your videos, we saw beautiful places about Kenya. In Kenya, we learned so much about the Kenyan culture. But you see, it's such a problem. When I was coming into the country from was it Ghana? I had a drone. Nigeria. From Nigeria. My drone was taken, at the airport. And they said it's not legal. And I'm like, why is it not legal? They said, oh, you need a certificate. Okay. You wonder, we feel frustrated as content creators. If you agree with me, drop a comment below. We are only trying to promote our country, but it is so difficult, and we don't have laws that protect us. What do we do in such a situation? Or where would a lawyer come in to help? Or can we have laws, even in the Constitution, that represent the youth, who are actually, doing their own thing? And this is not just for content creators. You also have filmmakers. Yeah, what do you think about that?
I believe content creation will fall under the category of journalism.
Yes.
How many journalists do we have in Parliament?
We have a couple.
We have a couple. At least I know of 𝙁𝙗𝙬𝙗𝙬, my very good friend. Over the last 1 year, I've been advocating for unity amongst professionals through their professional leaders. I've said, if the leaders of all these professional organizations, and professional organizations are many, I've listed about 23, but there are many. Even borders have a professional organization, even tailors, so that we have a stake on the decision-making table. We don't have a stake. You follow? If you had to ask me why am I determined to go to Parliament, it's not because I want to go and get that 1 million. What will it benefit me? I want to go there so that the problems I have met as an advocate for the last 18 years that require legislation, oversight, revenue, and poverty alleviation are dealt with from a law-making perspective. Understand? Now, you as content creators fall in the same category of what we generally call journalists. What are you doing to find your place on the table? Because you lament every day, I need a lawyer to look at this. No. Even with a lawyer, you need to be informed of what your rights are. You need to be aware of what you can do from the basic level of government to make your position better. You follow? Otherwise, some of us will take that initiative, and we are privileged and happy to do it. But when we're doing so, we don't have the know-how of all the problems that afflict you.
Guys, you need to step up. Elect me. I'm gonna do the work for you.
Run. You can, if you think starting with the constituency is high level, start with member of county assembly. It is no longer the role of councillor belittled. There's money. First of all, the salary for member of county assembly is what? Slightly over 200,000. That's a lot of money. Yeah. What is the wage bill? What is the salary of somebody considered to be middle class? It's $100. Yeah. And it is these institutions that make laws and regulations that govern us. Why are you leaving it to someone else yeah, who will not have your interest at heart? Yeah. So take up the opportunity. Look at what happened post-independence. Say for Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, most of the representatives were youthful, and they were accommodated by those in higher office. Why is it now, many years after independence, youth do not have their place at the table? And when such an opportunity is availed, it's just hooligans, you know? Just hooligans, those who, though calling themselves youth, are not really youth. Their mindset is very old. So put yourself there.
I will. Thank you so much for your advice. Guys, what do you think? I feel like it's true. We need to step up. Instead of just complaining, we need to step up and fill up the positions and actually bring change to our country. Because if we don't, then who will? Finally, as we finish, what is the, what are some of the things you've observed, or rather, let me do it again. What is the advice that you'd give the youth of the country or the country in general? Like, where do we move from here?